everyone, and welcome back. It is a beautiful Monday on our April break, and today is all about getting these garden beds prepped. I am going to add a nice little blend of 50-50 mix I purchased at a local landscaping company, plus amending it with some peat moss, perlite, and some worm castings. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Kristy. I am located in Massachusetts, zone 6A, with an average last frost date of May 15th. So we are about 3 to 4 weeks from that last frost date, and I really need to get these prepped. Like I said, I had about 10 to 12 yards delivered from a local landscaping company of a 50-50 mix. So it's 50% topsoil, 50% compost. I used this last year and amended it again with the peat moss, the perlite, and the worm castings, and I had some great success. So I figured, why not go ahead and do that again? Now, before I get started, I did some cover crop and I thought it died over the winter, and unfortunately it just bounced back even when I had all of the leaves added on. I wanted to add another component to my beds, and unfortunately the winds have been so strong, a lot of the leaves actually blew off the beds, which allowed all of that cover crop to come back. So I will be doing a little bit of tilling. I was trying to do a no-till garden. However, I want to loosen this up. The soil is super compact. I did last year the hugelkultur method, where I added in some branches and logs and then filled it up the rest of the way with the same mix that I am doing today. But I'm going to just mix it up, till it a little bit. I might just do some, I have a tiller, which is great. It's a little attachment from our Milwaukee brand. So I'm going to do a little bit of that today, and then I'm hoping after this year I won't have to till it again. I will not be doing a cover crop, so lesson learned. I really just wanted to add some more nitrogen back into my soil, but I think I will be good if I just keep adding this compost mixture year after year. So this will be my one till garden year, and then after that I will not be tilling these beds anymore. I really want to establish those microbes and all the worms, and that we want to get in those beneficial amendments to just not be disturbed. So I like to try and break it down into parts when I am adding my soil. What I probably will do is I'll first just add my topsoil and compost mix, and then I will add in my parts of peat moss, worm castings, and perlite in the bed and mix it in there. Last year I did it with a wheelbarrow, and obviously it can't hold as much, and it was just a disaster. I was losing soil over the side. So I'm going to try this year and just mix it in the garden bed by hand, or with like a little rake that I have to help move things along. So what I like to do is I like 4 parts of my 50-50 mix. So a part can be anything. I'll probably use like a shovel, or I have a bunch of 5-gallon buckets. So I might use that as well. And you might hear jets. I live by an Air Force base, so if you hear them, they love to zoom by our house. So I will do 4 parts topsoil and 50-50 mix. Then I will add 1 part peat moss, and then half of a part of worm castings and perlite. I probably will do a little bit less than half of a mixture of worm castings. I kind of just sprinkle it in on the top and don't really gauge that. So as long as I have my 4 parts of my 50-50 mix, my 1 part of peat moss, and then my half of a part of my perlite, I think I should be good. I might judge and add some more perlite to it. It's just kind of like that gauging feeling. If it looks right and feels right, I'll know. I'm not really big into measurements. It's kind of like just chuck it all in and hope for the best. That's kind of how I roll. So I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful of how much I put into everything, but I think we'll be just fine. Also, if you are doing your own soil and your own mixture, you can also substitute peat moss for coco coir. I know not everyone wants to add peat moss, but I have 3 big bales of it, so I will be using that. And the amendments, the worm castings, are, I feel like, super important. I got those from Costco. I think I showed previously. I'll put it back up. You can get a bag from there, and they still sell the same one that I had from last time. Oh, here comes another jet. They fly actually pretty low here, which is pretty fun to see. They all go tree line, which is interesting. A little nerve-wracking, but that's okay. And you definitely want to add, oh my God. We'll let that one pass. I like to add perlite so I can get some drainage. These did freeze over a lot over the winter time, especially the beds that I had my milk jugs on for winter sowing. So lesson learned, I will not be putting my milk jugs because they do completely freeze over. All right, and we are just going to do a nice little time lapse. I'm going to till, like I said, a little bit just to break up some of that soil and to get rid of my cover crop. This will be my 1 year of tilling. We will go to a no-till for following years, and then we'll add our soil. Now, originally when I was planning on getting my cut flower garden and my perennial garden ready, I was going to rent a tiller from Home Depot, but my husband decided for my birthday he would go ahead and get me a power tool. So we are just using the Milwaukee, and he got me this little cultivator attachment, which I'm super excited about. And if you're using any type of equipment, make sure you go ahead and get your safety goggles on because you never know what's going to be popping up out of the soil or out of the ground. So we're going to get started. We are just doing a very, very light till with this. And after that, I'm hoping again, we will just go back to a no-till garden. I did a super light till. I tried keeping it to the first like 2 to 3 inches. I didn't want to go too deep. One, my soil did settle a lot, so I pre-measured everything before ordering my 50-50 mix. I had about 6 to 7 inches per bed where it sunk. So as I stated earlier, I used the hugelkultur method where I did some extra sticks and logs. We actually cut down a lot of small trees last year. So I use those branches just to fill the bottom. Now we are going to be adding that back in. I really want to go to as close to the top as possible. We purchased about 10 to 12 yards, I want to say, the 50-50 mix, which will cover greatly in here. And then for my other 2 beds, we'll be amending them and adding whatever extra soil there is. So this is my priority right now, is to fill these garden beds. I just wanted to show you what I am adding. So we have our 4 parts of 50-50 mix, and I just grabbed this bucket. I got it at the Dollar Tree. I plan on doing a lot of container gardening as well. So I'm going to be using this because it is one of my only buckets I could find with no holes in it. So we will be using 4 parts of this for the 50-50 mix. This is the worm castings. I got it at Costco. I have several bags of these. So I will be just sprinkling these in. When I was trying to do the math, it was about half of a part, but I don't know if that might just be too much, and I have about 11 beds to fill, so I'm just going to sprinkle it in, and I can always add more. I want to try and save some, especially for my perennial bed over here, because it is so sad, our soil. It's so bad. So I want to save some of this. I have about 2 or 3 bags of this. I have this right here. This is the peat moss. It was about $15 a bag at Walmart. It was actually cheaper to get it at Walmart than it was at Home Depot. I have this ginormous bag of perlite. It was so much cheaper to buy this 4 cubic foot of perlite from Amazon than it was to just buy those little $6 bags that you can get at Home Depot. So I definitely suggest it. Is 4 cubic feet. It's super light. It had free shipping, and it was, I want to say 45. It was definitely under $50 for that. So that should be perfect. So now we're going to go get the wheelbarrow. I'll do a little mixture right here, and then we're going to try and fill in as many beds. My kids are actually at Home Depot now. We are building my daughter a fairy garden, and we need to go to Costco so I can actually get some stuff done in peace and quiet. So let's get mixing. I also wanted to come over here because I was checking on my sugar snap peas. My raspberries are coming up, and I totally forgot to trim some of those back, so I need to do that as well. But I did see, let me flip the camera around. We do have, I don't know if you can see that or not, if it's focusing there. I do have some germination from my sugar snap peas. There's also one right here as well that is going to be popping up. So I will be adding to these beds, but I'm pumped because I'm so happy these are going, and I've been watering them every single day. So yeah, let's get back to it and break up a nice sweat. All right, so just like that is first break time. Kids are coming home from Home Depot and Costco, which means lunches need to be made. So that will probably be about a good hour, hour and a half break. I have to get my little one down for a nap and then we will resume. So this is what I'm saying. It takes time, especially if you have a family. You don't just get to plow through and just keep on working. You have a lot of breaks. So give yourself some grace and just know that in time you will get everything done. So in the time that they were done, I did a light till on all of the garden beds. And then I also was able to do 2 full raised garden beds. This one I just started adding the 50-50 mix, but I'm gonna take a break. And then what I will do is tonight I will water these in, so that way tomorrow I know how much more I have to add in. So out of breath, lots more to do. There's still a lot of cleanup in here, but I'm pretty pumped that I got this much done while they were gone. So you can see how much can get accomplished when you have your own time to yourself. So I will check in later and probably have to charge my phone up because it is going to be a very productive. So a quick little update, it's almost 3 o'clock. We have about 7 out of 10 beds filled. We've been plugging away and luckily the sun has gone kind of behind the clouds and it's very overcast now, so we're not sweating as much, but I did do probably up to like the 2 inches or so for each bed. We're working on this one right now. This one was a pepper bed last year. I'm going to rotate my tomatoes there because it gets so much sun and it's a great spot for it. So those will be for the tomatoes. So Madeline's helping me out. She is getting the clumps that are in the 50-50 mix. And then Chippy the chipmunk, that we like to call him, is getting a little curious as to why all of his little houses are probably getting covered right now. The chipmunk has made a bed in every single house, storing all of its food for the winter. So he's kind of a little bit curious right now. We saw him zipping around. So yep, 7 out of 10. We're gonna fill this one. The one behind it used to be an old strawberry bed. We're going to use that for tomatoes this year. And then we'll fill the sugar snap peas on either end as well. So just a little update. We took about an hour and a half break, but this is actually really good progress compared to last year. I feel like it took me a lot longer to do this. So I'm hoping we can finish this by the end of the night. My husband is actually working on my sunflower patch right now. He's putting in some bricks. We're testing out some pavers to make an edging, and then I have a nice spot for sunflowers. It gets full sun and the sunflowers will be able to follow the sun throughout the day, so we're super thrilled with that. And Madeline, you having fun? Yes. So she's got her Paw Patrol gloves on and all is well. The little guy is still sleeping. This is probably the longest nap he's had in a while. So we're thrilled and we're going to get several hours. We are wrapping it up. All I have left is this bed right behind me. That is a full bed. And then where my raspberries and blackberries are, I have to do that one later. I'll probably keep plugging away until dinner time, but the kids are running around like crazy right now, getting all their energy out. And I am like out of breath. So again, it's very important to go and amend your soil. I would not just recommend getting topsoil because it gets super wet and compact, and you want it to get a little bit light and airy. So adding that compost for nutrition, adding that perlite to let drainage happen, and adding the peat moss so that way you can let moisture come in. Adding those all together, it'll make this really light and airy soil. So definitely check into what you want to make your soil a little bit more fluffier and more easier for your vegetables to grow. And until next time, happy gardening. And if you found this helpful at all, please go ahead and click like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.